Hello, everybody, and a warm welcome to the Innovation, Food System and Sustainability IFAD conference this year. This side event on Innovation Day is the first day of the IFAD 2022 conference. And in this event, we will look into the role of innovation in nutrition-sensitive agriculture, a food-based approach to agriculture development that puts nutritionally rich foods and dietary diversity at the heart of overcoming undernutrition, overnutrition, and macronutrient deficiencies. The event will place a special focus on the Mediterranean cuisine as an example for a traditionally healthy diet. We are having eloquent panelists with us today. An interactive panel will discuss the role of innovation in sustainable diets and the importance of building on traditional knowledge in the context of the climate transition. Innovation Day is the first day of the IFAD 2022 conference, as I already mentioned, and the conference is entitled Jobs, Innovation and Value Chains During Climate Change, Bridging the Gap Between Research and Policy. And it runs here at IFAD, hybrid, in person and virtually from 21st to 24th of June. I would like to introduce our panelists, and today with us we have Enrico Molinaro, who is the Secretary General of the Italian network of the Euromed Dialogue Ride, President of Mediterranean Perspective. Also, Almotaz Abadi is joining us today, and he's the Manager Director for Water Union for the Mediterranean, and joining us online while Enrico is in presence with us today. Dina Storey, Head Sustainability Operations Expo 2020, who is also joining online. Sama El Baroudi, Director, Chairman's Technical Office, NBI National Office. And Nile Water Sector, Ministry of Water Resources and Irrigation from the Arab Republic of Egypt, and welcome online with us. We will also have with us today Professor Angelo Riccaboni, who is Professor of Business Administration at the University of Siena. I'm Antonella Cordone, Senior Technical Specialist, Nutrition and IFAD, and really a warm welcome to all of us, all of you connected online and here in person. A bit of housekeeping for our event today. For those of you connected via Zoom, please use the Q&A box for any questions, and also remember to upvote any question that you think are the best. For colleagues and participants in person here, kindly keep your question till we are going to have a Q&A session after we have listened to our panels. So without further ado, I really would like to invite our panelists. Before doing that, though, colleagues here are reminding us that we are having a video. This video is on the recipes for change, and it will be a short video of less than 4 minutes. This video is on the recipes for change, and a short video of less.
Italian top chef and TV star Carlo Cracco has arrived in eastern Morocco to visit local farmers who are struggling to defend their livelihoods, local culture, and regional cuisine from climate change. Home to herders and nomads, these highlands have been hard hit by desertification and overgrazing. With vast areas stripped of all vegetation, traditional foods such as the Moroccan truffle, a staple ingredient, has become increasingly hard to find.
Just looking for edible plants here in the field, in this terrain, is inspiring. It makes you understand how people here have the sensibility to recuperate everything, to use all that the land can give them. And for us, it is important to discover these authentic flavors that are so powerful and rich.
So the chef teams up with 70-year-old Fatma. Together they will prepare a traditional tagine using regional specialities, Moroccan truffles and local lamb.
This one has a strong smell. It is a cross between a truffle, a mushroom, and a potato. But it is important. It is a fundamental part of their nutrition.
And Fatma, who was a nomad most of her life, explains how important these truffles are for the local diet.
We love these truffles because in good seasons they can be found everywhere. Any member of the family could go just beyond the tent and find enough to prepare 1 or 2 pots. We use them in tagines, couscous, and other dishes, and we dry them to use during the period when there are no truffles.
Basically, she is diluting the spices in water, making a type of light marinade.
While the truffles are boiling in water, the cooks prepare the lamb. With less shrubs to graze on, sheep numbers are also dwindling, and herders are forced to abandon the area to find a living elsewhere.
This lamb is a crucial source of nutrition here, and it lives thanks to all the magnificent plants that it can eat.
Leaving the tagine to simmer on a wood fire, Krakow is taken to where work is being done to hinder the encroaching desert. Covering an area of 3.5 million hectares, the International Fund for Agricultural Development, or IFAD, together with the United Nations Industrial Development Organization, UNIDO, are collaborating with local communities to reduce poverty by fighting desertification. Massive areas replanted with indigenous shrubs are fenced off and act like natural seed banks, using the wind to disperse the seeds. Soil erosion is being combated by planting thousands of drought-resistant plants and building microdams to catch and preserve rainwater. So far, the project has benefited 100,000 people.
Climate change is a fact. It is difficult to change or reverse the process. Perhaps it is no longer possible. Perhaps we can slow it down, but we cannot stop it. Coming here is an humbling experience. It shows you how important man's input is, the culture, maintaining a tradition. Because if you let it go, the desert will advance. It is essential to put in place something for people here, for those who live here, so they will not leave or move away from here.
So the video showed a bit one of the examples from an IFAD-funded project, and just to set the scene, I would like to invite now my colleague Nomi Delger Bayas-Galang. Nomi, you will help us to present IFAD's approach to nutrition-sensitive agriculture, and you have 7 minutes. Over to you, Nomi.
Okay, thank you so much, and it is great pleasure to be with you here. I'm going to present a very short presentation on the IFAD's approach to nutrition.
abbiano questa sensibilità, no? Nel recuperare tutto, utilizzare
Uh,
tutto quello che ti dà la terra. E quello che è importante per noi
can you change? Yeah, the next slide, please.
è aprire questi.
Hello?
Nomi, yes, we are setting up the PowerPoint presentation. Just 1 second.
Okay, so yes, I will share insight of what IFAD does in terms of nutrition. And before that, I would like to remind us that, you know, the nutrition often perceived as linked to agricultural production, but as many of us now realize, and that nutrition goes beyond the food production itself, so it goes beyond agriculture only, because there are many different factors that affect nutrition. The way the food is stored, the way the food is processed, the way the food is traded and prepared is also an essential part of it. And also not only the way how it's produced, stored and processed and traded, but the economic and social cultural context of different settings, no? The cultural habits, the different beliefs, but also different many factors that relates to price, the market, the vicinity, the trade. These all are the factors that contribute and links to nutrition and affects the diet quality. That's why the nutrition sensitive goes beyond the production itself and looks at the entire food system. Next slide, please. So IFAD's approach to nutrition, the healthy diet and better nutrition is at the core of IFAD's work through its investment. IFAD makes sure that its investment contributes to better nutrition by making it nutrition sensitive and ensuring that it's not only nutrition sensitive, but it's also having a positive impact on the diet. Particularly if that investment is addressed the underlying determinants of malnutrition. The underlying determinants like food security, the feeding and caring practices, the water and sanitation hygiene practices, the access to different services. These all are the underlying determinants of malnutrition. Over the years, IFAD has increased its commitment to have at least 60% of its investment nutrition sensitive by 2024. Next slide, please. So nutrition sensitive activities in IFAD nutrition sensitive portfolio looks at various entry points. It looks at, of course, the production, but it also looks at the marketing, value chain. It looks at also the behavior change, the communication, the education aspects of it, but also it looks at the gender equality empowerment, water hygiene sanitation, but it also looks at all other cross-cutting elements, the climate change, the environment, the youth engagement, the indigenous people, the people with different disabilities. All these are also looked at in IFAD investment when it makes it nutrition sensitive. IFAD is also more and more engaged in policy dialogue to make sure that what IFAD is doing is also coordinated, collaborated with other sectors and engaged in partnership with other stakeholders. Next slide, please. So when we come to the production diversification, IFAD's investment is not about only producing more. It's also to ensure that what is produced is diversified, it's intensified, it's also promotes the integrated farming. And so it's to ensure that the households in poor communities able to access to different types of foods they need for the diet. And when it comes to diversifying the production, the most important thing is choosing the varieties. Often the varieties are the ones that indigenous, underutilized, or local or traditional varieties that are slowly disappearing from the diets. So looking at diversifying the production, intensifying, but also bringing back the oldest varieties that can offer better nutritional quality, but also the varieties are more resistant to climate change and varieties that are resistant to different climatic conditions, varieties that may not need too much pesticides because they're more resistant to pests. And these varieties also can look at the different biodiversity conservation, contributing to it. Next slides, please. So the IFAD investment is not only just producing more, diversifying, ensuring that we are introducing different varieties, but the core element of IFAD investment is nutrition education, the social behavior change and communication. It's very important to ensure that all different actors along the food value chain, not only the producers, the farmers themselves, but also the ones that are processing, the ones that are storing and marketing, are able to understand the importance of nutrition and healthy diet. And of course, the consumers. The nutrition education and social behavior change and communication of IFAD's investment is the core element of its investment. It's touched upon the nutritional value of different foods, its importance to the human diet. Also, it's touched upon the dietary needs of different age groups. It's not only about eating well, but about the needs of different age group, the children under the age of 5, the growing adolescent girls and boys, and also the adults and elderly. But also the nutrition education is about the acceptability, feasibility of the food we are introducing and how to prepare it, how to cook it to retain the nutritional value and bioavailability. This nutrition education, social behavior change is used a lot of different strategies. Often it's channeled through agricultural extension services, but we also through the farmer field schools or youth groups, women groups, community clubs, and also to the general public. Another element of nutrition sensitive investment of IFAD is the gender equality and empowerment. And many of the interventions are looking at, for example, the technologies that can help to reduce the labor intensity or can help also to reduce the fuel. Hello, and so that the technologies, the gender equalities is also not only through the promoting the fuel and energy efficient cooking stoves, but also the interventions that promote the processing preservation. Because processing preservation is not only help to retain the nutritional quality and shelf life, but it also can help to reduce the labor intensity, the time is spent to process the food. And of course, the empowerment. It's also important that men and women equally empowered in investment of nutrition sensitive programs of IFAD. And another entry point, of course, the marketing. One of the key elements is the poor rural communities, the farmers. They need to market their food. They need to generate income. They need to improve their livelihoods. And therefore, the value chain marketing is becoming an important activities of its investment. One of the different interventions. Is now we're looking at the reducing the post-harvest loss. Often farmers and food technologists and government and different partners, they looked at the quantity of the post-harvest loss. But it's important to remind ourselves that nutritional quality is as well can be reduced during the post-harvest. And therefore, the interventions, investment of IFAD, more and more looking at which kind of technologies we can introduce to reduce not only the quantity, but improve the quality and ensure that the food is harvested and stored in a safe and better manner. For example, the storage facilities that are very important, and the linkages of storage facilities and nutrition sometimes is not given this information to the farmers. Like
Nomi,
yes?
you have finished your time. If you could kindly conclude, thank you.
Yes, okay, I'm coming, yes. So these are the different elements of the IFAD investment that are now looking, the value chain marketing, the processing, the post-harvest, and so on, and also the formulation. Next slide, please. So at the same time, the nutrition-sensitive investment of IFAD is introducing innovation. The COVID-19 reminded us that we have to innovate ourselves. We have to utilize the ICT technology. We have to innovate and make sure that we are able to do it better. And so IFAD collaborated with different partners, and here's an example with McGill University, to develop a tool to monitor the diet quality and assess the diet quality. It's a tool that is quite uses the artificial intelligence, the machine learning, the database. You don't need to go and collect lengthy process to data, but you can actually use ICT to collect the data, to have the nutrition survey and track the dietary changes. Another innovative approach is nutrition education. Yes, we use agriculture extension and farmer field schools to deliver the messages, but now maximizing ICT technologies, we are able to reach out to many beneficiaries. For example, the radio messages and different TV stations. And in Guyana, we had applied this different performance method, like a street theater, to use and to convey the message about good nutrition and dietary practices. So innovation is not only about this ICT and the way that use technologies, but also IFAD is innovating itself, have to partner with other partners, have to operate, have to collaborate and coordinate. So innovation is in all aspects of our operations. Thank you so much, and over to you, the chair.
Thank you, Nomi, and thank you so much for setting the scene, particularly on the different dimensions that we need to take into consideration that go beyond the food production, and also for sharing this innovation from IFAD. We move now to Dina Storey. And Dina, can you kindly share with us how the Expo 2020 focused on food innovation and security, and what is the legacy that the Expo left behind? And you have 5 minutes. I would like to thank you in advance for keeping with the time. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Antonella, and thank you for having me. It's a great honor to be here. So Expo 2020 had 3 major themes: sustainability, opportunity, and mobility. And within the sustainability space and within the opportunity space that focused on human opportunity, aka the Sustainable Development Goals, we focused a lot on food security. As you know, the Middle East in itself is not only a water scarce area that leads to food scarcity, but also a transitional area whereby we're looking at moving away, for example, from fuel-based energy sources to renewable energy sources. And as we know, the next two COPs will be held in the Middle East, COP27 in Sharm el-Sheikh in Egypt, and COP28 will be hosted in Abu Dhabi in the UAE. And then, so Expo 2020 provided the platform for different countries to provide innovations and solutions with regards to food security. We presented, for example, the food, water, energy nexus in collaboration with the Netherlands, and how does that work? We presented as well the circular food concepts, growing food in the desert using water salination. And all of these technologies and innovations were presented as a way to show what can be done in the near future, but also to highlight the importance of working together on innovative solutions. You asked about the legacy. The legacy of Expo is a number of things. First of all, looking at these innovations and how they can be tailored to the region. So working with the 192 countries that participated at Expo and the different universities and organizations such as the United Nations to tailor those solutions for the region, but also look the other direction, which is bringing solutions from the region and tailoring them out. So as we move forward to the next phase and as we come towards COP, it is very clear that the collaboration that happened at the Expo created these capabilities and the reporting beyond that on how we can work together to bring innovations together. And I just gave two examples, but there are many, many more. So one of the other things I think is quite important, and what Expo did and accelerated really well, is focusing on no use of pesticides and herbicides within the boundaries of the Expo, and using that as a pilot or a litmus test to see how we can grow effectively without using chemicals within a desert area. As well as reducing or making the irrigation systems more efficient within the site to reduce the use of water within the site. So there's so many examples. A lot of them can be found in the sustainability reports. There are 3 of them on the website, on the Expo website, and I'd be happy to share a lot more information about all of the different pilot projects, as well as the innovations that we did across the 6 months of the Expo. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much, Dina. And you have been not even using all your time. And thank you for bringing the legacy of the Expo up to the COP27 this year, and reminding us of the sustainability reports that are online and that any of you can follow. Also, colleagues, those of you who are connected and participants who are connected online, you can look at the work of our panelists and their biography in the links that are being shared through the chat. And now we move to our third panelist in the row, Enrico Molinaro. And Enrico, welcome. Enrico is here with us in presence. Enrico, we really would like to hear from you about the Mediterranean cuisine and how it can contribute to limiting the negative environmental impacts and encourage a healthier lifestyle. Enrico, the floor is yours. And like the other panels, you have 5 minutes. Over to you.
I would like to raise basically 3 points such a short time. Thank you for, first of all, IFAD for hosting this meeting. between friends that are cooperating in this initiative at the 4th year now in the archipelago where Europe was born, Ponza and Ventotene, especially in view of restoring a villa to make it the first Euromed Center for Innovation, Science Diplomacy, and Higher Education on Sustainability. So basically, your question is related also to the work of IFAD, because I saw and I was impressed from the activity you do on a multidisciplinary research, because you also take into consideration the socio-anthropologic context, which is exactly the meaning of Mediterranean cuisine as opposed to Mediterranean diet, because we want to take into consideration what the anthropologists call the orthopraxis, which means how they balance the cereals, the vegetables, and the proteins in a way that is more not only salubar, but also healthy for the nature, so in a way to have a less environmental impact. And I also would like to say that on this idea, on these principles, we succeeded to put together in the Pontine Archipelago a number of institutional representatives at the international level, both regional, Euromed, like the Prima Foundation, whose president will conclude the session today, Professor Carboni, and at the UN level, like the UNAOC High Representative Moratinos. So basically, we found out that this non-divisive topic is a way to put together people that have also conflict in their countries, but they've reached an agreement on learning from each other the traditions, I would say, of our grandmothers or grand-grandmothers, that regardless of the single ingredient, as we saw in the video, what is important is the balance, the impact of the general balance between the 5 flavors. So this is a reason why we call it Mediterranean cuisine, and I hope we can continue the cooperation with IFAD. Also in the next meeting we'll have in Ponce Island planned for September 9 and 10, including IFAD in this number of institutions that are cooperating to study, to teach this knowledge from our ancestors, from our especially the communities that are more traditional in this, from this point of view, but also to use it as an innovative way to make better our life, because we cannot forget and delete our collective memories. So I hope that this initiative will continue with our friends here gathered in this panel, and IFAD will support and will be included in our team of institutions. Thank you.
Thank you, Enrico. And you shared with us some keywords: collective memory, knowledge from the ancestors, and you also touched upon the diversification in diet that corresponds to the biodiversity, so feeding the people and feeding the planet. And thank you for sharing the initiatives that you are undertaken linked to the Mediterranean cuisine. We now move to our panelist, Sama El Baroudi. Sama is online, and Samar, we are very eager to listen from you on the innovation to address water challenges, and especially those that are related to climate change in the case of Egypt. So we are with you in our journey to Egypt. Over to you, you have the floor.
Welcome to Egypt now. Okay, first I would like to thank the organizers for the kind invitation. It's a great honor to be part of this panel. I will talk about the importance of innovation to address water global challenges, which are placing more pressure on water managers and communities that serve than ever before. Digital technologies can support the management of water resources to achieve more with less. They also hold the promise to address current and future water-related challenges, from climate change, water scarcity, to food security. Existing and new technologies such as the Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, robotics, and big data can contribute to making processes more efficient and can lead to the creation of new products and services, and thus to enhance productivity, greater resilience, and increased sustainability. Now, the digitalization of the water sector is not an option, it's an imperative. Of course, achieving water security is a global challenge, especially in a country like Egypt, which has a very critical and unique water situation, as it is among the world's driest countries and depend almost totally on the Nile River basin, on the Nile River originated from outside its borders. Egypt's annual water share per capita is 560 cubic meters, which is well below the water scarcity threshold and would further decline. The available water resources barely cover 50% of the country's need for water, which are estimated at 114 billion cubic meters per year, while the available water only accounts 60 billion cubic meters per year. This gap is fulfilled by importing virtual water and recycling wastewater more than once. The challenge of water security is further exacerbated by climate change that have become more and more severe. In addition of being the most downstream countries in the river basin, Egypt becomes more sensitive to climate change impacts, therefore sensitive to any upstream project that is constructed unilaterally without the coordination with the downstream countries. These challenges have triggered a new paradigm shift in the Egyptian water sector. In an effort to address these challenges, mitigate the risk, and meet future needs, including the socio-economic development ambitions. This paradigm has three main directions. The first is the digital transformation of the water sector and the use of advanced technologies and data science through digitizing services and the use of mobile applications for water savings. An example of this is the use of mobile phone applications for farmers that provide information on irrigation requirements based on remote sensed data. The IRWI application is one of these apps that provide tailored information to farmers for their plots based on weather condition and crop types. It also integrates geo-specific weather data, exact crop evapotranspiration values, and net climate productivity, which enables farmers to achieve the highest yields while using the least amount of water. The second one is a massive investment in the water infrastructure, such as mega-scale wastewater treatment plants to reuse wastewater for irrigation, desalination plants to augment available water resources for domestic use and urban development, and in addition to rainwater harvesting in order to benefit from each drop of water. In this context, the Ministry of Water Resources and Irrigation has prepared a plan to manage water in Egypt up to the year 2037, with investments of more than $50 billion, which are expected to be doubled. Through this plan, two major national programs are being implemented. The first is a canal rehabilitation system, and the other is the transformation to modern irrigation system. The third direction is the implementation of policies that highly value water and its central role in connectivity to other sectors like agriculture and energy industry and tourism. A holistic approach to valuing water means recognizing its social, economic, and environmental dimension, including the question of inclusivity. Such approach allows all stakeholders, including women, youth, NGOs, farmers, private sectors, to have a seat at the table to plan for the future and make decisions in an inclusive and integrated manner. Furthermore, investments are being made in water research and innovation. On the other hand, since 2018, the Ministry of Water Resources and Irrigation, in collaboration with national, regional, and international partners, organized the Cairo Water Week, which is considered as the biggest water-related event in Egypt. This event aimed to raise awareness of water issues, promote innovation to confront urgent water challenges by using unconventional methods and modern technology, support and implement integrated water management policies, and reach sustainable solutions to manage water resources in order to confront population growth and climate change. This year's theme of the Cairo Water Week is Water at the Heart of Climate Action, which is considered as a preparatory event for the COP27 that will be held in Egypt in Sharm el-Sheikh next November. Both the past and the upcoming Cairo Water Week are within the framework of the preparatory events for the World Action Decade 2023 in order to contribute to build consensus ahead of the UN conference on the midterm comprehensive review on the Water Action Decade. Finally, I would like to take this opportunity to encourage all members and all parties to participate in these events, which reflects the importance the government of Egypt gives to the water sector. Thank you.
Sama, thank you very much. Thank you for informing us and sharing the importance of digitalization in the water sector, how Egypt is entering into a new paradigm, using digital transformation to mitigate risks. And also, I found it very important, the information directly to farmers. So the link to farmers and the water infrastructure and all the events ahead of us on this very important topic. Thank you very much. And now we move to Almotaz Abadi, and Almotaz will share with us how countries and leaders can achieve food security and nutrition in time of crisis and climate emergencies, particularly in the area of the Mediterranean. Almotaz, really, we would like to learn from you whether it is an issue of policy and mobilizing innovations, or it is an issue of practices. Over to you.
Thank you very much for inviting the Union for the Mediterranean to take part of this important session. I am very happy to be with the distinguished colleagues and panel around the Mediterranean. We are one family. I will be answering your question, considering that I have 5 minutes on just to highlight some points related to what we are doing, considering that the Union for the Mediterranean is not an implementing agency, but we are a policy influence agency, that intergovernmental organization that bring together 42 member states to work on issues related to sustainable development and enhancing the socio-economy, with ultimate objective is to achieve the security. And to do so in the sector that I am working in the water sector, we are trying to see what is the best model to be applied in the Mediterranean region, considering that we have two blocks, one in the EU and the CMED region, and both are actually equal and similar when it comes to the climate change. And according to the study that we conducted with the help of MEDEC, that it's alarming for all citizens of the Mediterranean, either in the south, east, or in the north, that saying that the Mediterranean region is the second hotspot, and it is expected to be characterized by less and less water, or more water stress when it comes to the distribution of rainfall and the rainfall event. And these are very important message that we need to carry in order to keep doing what we call it, achieving the water security in the Mediterranean, which is absolutely at this stage, we cannot achieve it if we don't follow innovation and mobilizing the technology in all aspects of our water life. And when it comes to the water issue in the Mediterranean, imagine that part of the 42 member states, 80% of their water resources goes for agricultural sector. Here, when it comes to the agricultural sector, is not only the product that we are producing as a grain to eat, but also all the product that we are producing to feed the animals, that also animals contribute to dairy and all other part of our cuisine, and also meat for those who are not vegetarian, as you know. So this is all the time making us very worry about how we can achieve this water security. The narrative that we raised on before, that we can depend on what we call it the virtual water trade. And now, if you connect the virtual water trade with the cost of energy and the cost of the transport, then absolutely this is not the way that we need to keep doing to depend on the export. In the numbers, as an example, the Mediterranean region, the north of CIMED bloc, they face a rising of importation of grain by 70 billion US dollar in one of the 10 years that starting by 2002 until 2013. And this is very huge amount of money when it comes to connecting the water, energy, and food, and also if we calculate also the cost of the ecosystem. So the work that we are doing in the Union for the Mediterranean at this stage is to try to be innovative also in applying good governance system that bring together the whole government approach and bring the three different ministries that they are dealing with the three issues on a comprehensive approach, and to put the right policy to influence the best use of water resources. In the Mediterranean, water is going to be decreasing. So we have two solutions. The first one is to mobilize desalination water, as said by my Egyptian colleague. And this is very important to consider the innovative approach in desalination in order to minimize the cost of production of water that can be shifted to the urban and domestic use. And at the same time, we should consider the wastewater treatment aspects in order to bring new resources to protect first the environment and public health, but also these resources are huge resources that can be diverted to irrigate those fodders, alfalfa, all kind of animal-based product that we can feed them to animal following the public health standards. But at the same time, these two elements, they are connected with energy. So it's time now we start influencing on the best use of energy efficiency in the policies that we are trying to influence in the Mediterranean region, and to shift toward renewable energy and solar energy. This is the part that we are very happy about. The region is full with potential to mobilize the renewable energy to produce either the treated effluent or the desalinated water, and then to use it to pump water to cover a more irrigable area in the Mediterranean. And this is absolutely something that we have to look after in order to achieve the water security for the citizen, and not to ignore that 80% of this water should be made available for the agriculture sector, which is absolutely the main contributor to the food security. But at the same time, we cannot achieve this if we just innovate and mobilize technology, which is the most important thing. But we have to follow what I call it the innovative approach in putting sound governance and regulatory system by building also the decentralized approach, by also enhancing the social responsibility when it comes to the water user association and farmer association, that they can be also part of the decision-making process. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Almotaz, and thank you for sharing with us the role of that the Union for the Mediterranean is playing in this important area, and for reminding us of what is the future of Mediterranean when it comes to water, but water is connected to food, as you rightly said, as well as to climate, and for the innovations and the influence as policymaker to the policymakers that the Union is making. And we move now to our last speaker in this panel, who is Sara Roversi. And Sara, thank you for being with us. We know it was a bit of a hectic day for you in train and missing trains, but we are very happy that you managed to join us. And Sara, we really would like to listen to you after all the other panelists on how the Future Food Institute that you represent is working on changing the perspective to transition towards more sustainable food systems. Over to you.
Thank you so much. It's a great honor to be with you in a weird way, because I'm talking to you from Rome, from the train station, but I couldn't join the summit. So I am very honored to share with you what we are doing with the Future Food Institute, because during this almost 10 years, we spent all our energies to try to nudge the food system transformation, doing a lot of projects all around the world, trying to empower youth to work with the industry, to connect the dots within the global ecosystem. But then at some point, with the starting of the global pandemic, after I spent my entire life traveling and connecting people and from all around the world, developing a global ecosystem that is focused in education, so empowering people from kids in schools, with working with ministries of education, working with FAO, running boot camps, hackathons, and any kind of educational projects focusing on experiential learning. Then developing community projects with our living labs, and at the end, developing 3 B Corps, helping the food system transformation, so working very much focused in innovation with the startup ecosystem. Then, let's say, we understood that we had the need of creating a space for innovating at the systemic level. And this is actually what we are doing in our Paideia campus based in Pollica, that is the UNESCO capital of the Mediterranean diet in Cilento. Is an Italian region that is, say, such a place full of treasures embedded in a national park that is holding 1/3 of the biodiversities of our Mediterranean area, but also is, let's say, the capital of Mediterranean diet, the UNESCO emblematic community of Mediterranean diet for Italy. But on the other hand, is also surrounded by tons of historical heritages, and not only historical heritages, but also kind of a knowledge that has been shared for thousands and thousands of years. That is making this place such a unique place, perfect to host this kind of project. And what we have been doing has been to start from the principle of integral ecology. The principle of integral ecology has been published for the first time in 2015 in the Laudato Si book of Pope Francis, in the same year when the SDGs came to life, in the same year when the Paris Agreement was signed. And let's say the concept of integral ecology is telling us that we cannot do innovation by thinking just of one of the aspects, but we need to implement innovation projects or innovation platforms that are allowing us to connect all the dots, embedding the political aspects, the economical aspects, the human and social aspects, but also cultural and environmental. And we cannot just think about environment if we're not caring about inclusion. We cannot just think about inclusion if we're not caring about food security, food safety, and all the other aspects. And the beauty of food is that food is at the epicenter. Food is nourishment, food is life. Food is also identity, traditions, rituals, family. Food is something that connects everyone. It's like a language. And food is a very powerful tool to build peace. But now with the Ukrainian crisis, we're also understanding that food is also one of the pain points that we need to solve, because we are clearly understanding that this war is creating a huge dramatic effect on the entire level of food security at the global level. So, of course, what we are doing is really creating a space where we can make innovation happen, not just thinking about human-centered innovation, but creating a new approach to innovation that is prosperity-driven. So we developed the prosperity thinking approach, starting from the principle of the human-centered innovation, developing methods and tools that are planet-centered, where people, humans, are part of the ecosystem, but the ecosystem and the entire ecosystem is the stakeholder. So planet-centered innovation. So through prosperity thinking, we are touching all the dots and implementing a new kind of governance, because of course, everyone is talking about, for example, implementing regenerative business model or implementing regenerative farming at a massive scale. And when we are hearing the communication from the biggest food companies in the planet saying that by 2050, they are going to buy only procurement coming from regenerative farming, we have to think also about different kind of governance, where we are creating different level of responsibilities, different kind of public and private collaborations, and of course, different skills, where technology and the startup ecosystem can play a crucial role. Now we're clearly understanding that we cannot achieve the goals if we're not fostering the digital transformation of the entire food system, but we cannot do it without keeping always on mind that human relationships, the community needs to be at the epicenter. And so this is what we're doing at our campus, where we developed this framework where we are really talking about food and acting through food and with food, touching health, touching training, touching education, touching elderly people, longevity, and all the other elements, blue economy, circular economy, and all the dots from farm, and let's say before farm, from the soil to fork, where in between you touch energy, you touch carbon farming, you touch all the different dots of the entire society. This is what we're doing. And I take the advantage of this gathering to invite you all to come and see, because now, after this pandemic, and we all hope that is over, we need to come back and do things in presence and connect each other. And so I invite you all to come and see. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Sara. Thank you for your inspiring contribution and for the holistic approach you have given us with the work that Future Food Institute is doing, reminding us the integrated approach of the Laudato Si encyclical and how important food is as bringing all the dimension together, but also the people of the world together. And we will be very happy to experience what you are doing in Italy, in Cilento. So thank you very much to all the panelists, and we are running a bit late, but we have a couple of questions that we would like, we have received in our chat and would like to share with our panelists. I'm passing the floor to Oliver Mundi, and also thanking Oliver. Oliver has been behind this event. Oliver, over to you for the questions.
Well, thank you, Antonella. And behind me, there's also Victoria as well. So thank you, Victoria. So we want to raise two questions now in the Q&A session. The first one, I thought maybe Enrico could answer. It is on a question on the competition of grains between humans and livestock. So this is a question raised by James Indiritu. The question is on on African agriculture, but I guess it applies to also other agriculture. So Enrico, do you feel comfortable taking this question, the competition between food for animals versus food that we can eat directly?
Yes, I don't see the question in front of me, but I think I understood the main issue that I can relate to what I said before about Mediterranean cuisine and the concept of cuisine in an anthropological, historical way. Every human people, every group have their own specific main cereal. This is the main food of human being for the last 2 million of years. Vegetables can accompany this food to make it balance more easy to digest and to be processed. And then there is a quantity of protein that could be vegetable or animal according to the region, to the area, to the weather. So that's why I said, let's rely on our collective memories, because this is a way to keep the survival of 2 million of years of human beings. We have to go ahead with innovation, but it's not convenient to delete and to forget the memory, because this can give us some suggestion of the balance, even for instance in the proportion between meat and other types of proteins, like vegetable proteins, legumes, and this could be, you know, we know that in the West, we have excess of this fat and proteins with so many diseases because of this imbalance. So we must do, I think, a way that is followed, as I understood from IFAD. We have to study the context, the social, economic and anthropological context, and try to get the best from the past.
Thank you for this response. Our other question is on a bit more complicated, a bit challenging. It's on sustainable food and nutrition security by coping to the adaptation fund and internal conflicts, specifically found in Africa. But I guess it's a general question. Does any of the online speakers feel comfortable in addressing this question? If so, unmute yourself. So the question is, so it's about climate change and internal conflicts and its relationship between sustainable food and nutrition security. If there's nobody, over to you, Enrico.
If there is no one else to respond, I can try. This is a very, very interesting and intriguing question, because what we succeeded to do over these years and the 4th edition of the Pontin Mediger initiative is to try to put together people in conflict, because as I said, this is a non-divisive issue that we succeeded to put together, for instance, Egyptian, Palestinian, Israeli, Jordanian, Italian women in the context of Women for Peace and Security, UN Security Council resolution. So it's important to put these issues safe from the conflicts. And I refer also to what Sara said regarding the Ukrainian conflict in progress. So I appreciate this question. It's a very sensitive issue. Of course, we cannot develop now all the aspects, but for sure, all these institutions that I mentioned before, including IFA, can help to focus on what is the vital interest of the communities, to put it aside from the conflict.
Thank you, Enrico, for helping us answering the questions. And now we have come to the end of this panel, and we call upon Professor Angelo Riccaboni to help us with a synthesis of the panel of today. Professor Riccaboni, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me to this very interesting session. And I was listening to the interventions from my dear friends Almotaz, Dina, Sara, Roversi, Tahani, Sara, and Enrico. And I think that there were some words which are common in their speeches, in particular, of course, given this place and this meeting, we all talk about transformation, advanced technologies, digitalization, even artificial intelligence or image-based nutrition monitoring. So there is a very interesting debate, a very interesting conversation in the Mediterranean about this issue, and we should be very pleased of it. Because as Almotaz said before, we are a family. I mean, the Mediterranean is really a unique community. We share the same history, but also we are sharing the same challenges, and we share the same future. So we need to work together to deal with challenges and in terms of loss of biodiversity, unsustainable agricultural practices, in terms of obesity or impacts of climate change. And I think it's very important that we work together. So I really enjoy this session that you created, that you organized, because we need, the point is that in this area, we do not have enough resources because each of our countries doesn't have the possibility to invest too much in these issues, which are so important. So we need to work together. This is the reason why UFM is so important, because they are an important, relevant international organization trying to push politicians and our activities in the right direction in a coordinated way. So this is why IFAD, I'm sure that they are doing interesting things, and we can do even more. And Prima is an example, because we are 19 Mediterranean countries, and we work all together in a unique and unusual way, according to the principle of equal footing, to deal with the challenges in front of us. And we do it in terms of cooperation. I mean, we have funded so far 168 projects about adaptation, mitigation to climate change, food security, water scarcity, sustainable use of natural resources, food loss and waste, soil conservation, biodiversity, circular economy. So this is what we need to do. This is what we need to do. We need to work together. And this is something that we know that is not easy, but that is something that is growing. For instance, other key actors in the area are SIAM, of course, the Future Food Institute. I mean, we need to, we don't have time. We do not have time, and we do not have resources enough to play in a singular way. And this is also what SDG 17 tells us. And especially in the area of innovation, we have big challenges, because innovation in our area is important because we are made of small farmers. I mean, our food comes on our tables because of the action of the small farmers. And small farmers have in front of them three key issues. First, they are small. Secondly, they need to deal with sustainability, and they need to be profitable. We want farmers be profitable. In order to do that, in order to reconcile these three themes, innovation is key. So this is the reason why innovation is so important, because we can help our farmers to be profitable, even if they are small. And this is really the key issue in front of us. And then in the recent month, unfortunately, we are in front of another major challenge, which is food security. But also to deal with the food security, we need not only emergency measures, like to create corridors to make food flow, not only to buy food, because we need also to buy food in order to deal with the problems, but what countries are sharing right in these days is that you need also to innovate, because if we do not innovate, the issue of food security will never be solved. So this is the point. Innovation is at the heart of the future of the Mediterranean. But innovation done in a cooperative way. We need to create bridges among countries, not walls. We need to work together on these issues. Also because they are very, very complex. I mean, food systems is maybe the most complex, the most problematic field we have in front of us. As somebody said, we need to do it together, but also dealing with the nexus, following the nexus approach, because food is not detached from water, it's not detached from energy, it's not detached from ecosystems. So look at which level of complexity we are in front of. But we can make it, we will make it if we work together. And now, fortunately, there are nice, interesting signals that we work together. We can make it, work together, and we will make it. Thank you very much for your attention, for your time, and congratulations for such an important opportunity to talk together about the future of the Mediterranean and the future of innovation in our countries. Back to you now. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Professor Riccaboni, for having brought together the synthesis of this panel and reminding us, you actually touched upon the fundamental of IFAD on smallholder farmers, on their challenges on being small, being sustainable, and being profitable. And this is at the core of what we do at IFAD. So I wish now to thank you all our panelists, to thank you, Professor Riccaboni, to thank all of you participants who have been following us online and in person here at IFAD, and special thanks to colleagues who supported us with the organization of the event, and our technicians who have helped us in a hybrid event today on the role of innovation in nutrition-sensitive agriculture. And this event is recorded and available online. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Angelo. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.